Hello everyone. Here we are going to discuss the introduction to the electromagnetic waves. What are electromagnetic waves? These are the disturbances in the field of electricity and magnetism, electric and magnetic field. The disturbances in the field of electricity and magnetism are known as electromagnetic waves. Here is the historical introduction which depicts some historical context using some historical context how electromagnetic waves were discovered. Oersted's experiment in 1820 was the milestone in the branch of electricity and magnetism in physics, which categorically states that electric charges in motion through a conductor is always accompanied with magnetic field around it. So this was the famous experiment done by Oersted in 1820, which started the field of electromagnetism. In 1831, Micheal Faraday performed a number of experiments and discovered that whenever a magnetic field is changed around a closed circuit, that means the magnetic flux, change in magnetic flux, an induced EMF is generated. So the induced EMF will generate. The voltage will generate in the circuit. This means that electric current and magnetic field cannot be separated from each other, rather they coexist and are correlated with each other. Therefore there were some experimental proofs were established by some great experimental physicists for electromagnetic relationships. In early of 19th century, two different units, ESU and EMU, of electric charge were used for the electrostatic and other for magnetic phenomena involving currents. Okay, these two units of charge had different physical dimensions. Their ratio has units of velocity, and measurement showed that the ratio has had a numerical value that was precisely equal to the speed of light. That means the ratio between their velocity and measurement shows that this ratio was the numerical value that was precisely measured by the experimental means for the speed of light c, which is denoted by c. So altogether will going to bring up with the optics, the unification of electromagnetism and optics will be going to get, and it was regarded as the extraordinary coincidence that had no explanation. So this was the greatest one of the greatest success in scientific history, electromagnetic waves it is called. So in um, here we have discussed that it was regarded as the extraordinary coincidence that had no explanation. James Clerk Maxwell, who was born in 1831 when Faraday discovered the electromagnetic induction, and was died in 1879 when Albert Einstein, the greatest geniuses, one of the greatest genius of all time, was born. uh, James Clerk Maxwell. His name was James Clerk Maxwell. He is called the one of the three greatest physicists of all time, along with Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein. In search of for an explanation of this coincidence, brought the important laws together and formulated a unified theory in 1861. He in 1861 formulated a unified field theory which is called electromagnetic field theory, and he founded that all the basic principles of electric and magnetic phenomena, that is called electromagnetism, can be formulated in terms of four fundamental equations now called Maxwell's field equations. or Maxwell field equations. Purely on mathematical basis, Maxwell predicted the existence of electromagnetic waves, and such waves can be radiated by accelerating charges, which the charges which accelerate, those charges radiate these waves, electromagnetic waves, because we know the moving charges produce magnetic field around it, and this magnetic field induce electric field, and the electric field in turn produce magnetic field. So this continuity continues forever, and the propagation of electromagnetic, the ripples in electromagnetic fields propagate towards forward direction. The above prediction came true when Hertz discovered electromagnetic wave in 1887, but the potential of electromagnetic waves remained unnoticed till the end of 19th century. In the beginning of 20th century, that is in 1901, Marconi brothers in Bell Laboratory were successful in transmit letter S using Morse code over the Atlantic Sea. So this was the major technical achievement ever in the history of science and technology. This was the beginning of wireless communication, popularly known as radio communication, and it was the mass success in the history of technology. So this was the birth of you know um, uh, communication system, the communication technology the human invented. This was here in this period. The human beings was capable of communicating very far through the technique of electromagnetic waves. So this was the major success in the history of science, along with many more, like gravitation, laws of motion, and Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity. And in Maxwell's time, the visual light, infrared, and ultraviolet light rays were only known as electromagnetic waves. But later on, radio waves, TV waves, microwaves, X-rays, gamma rays, and cosmic rays, etc., were identified as electromagnetic waves. So, in Maxwell's times, there are only three electromagnetic waves were previously already discovered, but aftermath there were very applications of electromagnetic waves. TV waves, microwaves, gamma rays. Although we know radio waves are the electromagnetic waves which are of highest wavelength, and gamma rays are of very short wavelength, shortest wavelength, and these are very harmful for health and human beings, etc. And cosmic rays are in um, uh, the rays that are propagating throughout the universe, and these are the harmful radiation also. These are also the some of the part of gamma rays, but these cosmic rays are very rays that are propagating throughout the whole interstellar medium, and that's why we called it cosmic rays, because cosmic means the related to cosmos, the universe. And x-rays, the x-ray was the first Nobel contribution, because it was discovered by Wilhelm Röntgen, who was awarded the first Nobel Prize in physics in 1901. And microwaves, TV waves, all these things, all these waves are the example of electromagnetic waves. All electromagnetic waves travel through free space vacuum with the same speed, c. What is the speed? C means speed of light in vacuum. That is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, the velocity of light. This is called the velocity of light in the pure physics language. Otherwise, we can also say it is the speed of light in vacuum. But this value is the most fundamental constant in the whole law of nature, along with Newton's gravitational constant, and and Planck's constant of quantum mechanics. So this is the history of electromagnetic waves, and this is very important. Thank you, everyone.